Hello everyone, and this is Crota giving you game 2 in a series between Rudan versus Yumiko. Rudan spawning as the red Night Elf player on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Yumiko spawning on the bottom left hand side of the map as the pink human versus Night Elf here on Amazonia. And we'll see what happens in this series. Now, in game 1 of the series, Yumiko with a solo Mountain King was really effective at harassing and just absorbing the harassment coming in from Rudan. Rudan never got high enough in his level and then really didn't use a lot of the Staff of Preservation, Staff of Teleportation techniques that most Night Elf players use. That harassment technique constantly saves heroes, constantly saves units, and pulls them out of battles and then brings them back in with pretty much full hit points because of those Moonwells. Now, Yumiko is opening up with an Altar of Kings and a Barracks. Meanwhile, we see that there is an Altar of Elders, Moonwell, and an Ancient of War coming in from Rudan. So nothing too out of the ordinary from both of these players at this stage in the game. We'll see what exactly their strategies will be sometime around the 2-minute mark when heroes are established, and then they start their creeping patterns. Ancient of War now training up an Archer. Meanwhile, down over here, Altar of Elders is already training up a Warden, so it looks like it will be a Warden once more. And is it going to be an Archmage? Yes, it is an Archmage. So it is not going to be a Mountain King, it is going to be an Archmage. And the Archmage is one of those heroes that is very fragile early on, but is more of a general in terms of leading the army, as the Archmage with that Brilliance Aura does wonderful effects for the rest of the caster army, able to heal more, able to cast more slow, and also able to drop some very powerful water elementals in addition. Ancient of War currently tanking much of that damage. Archer doing a great job positioning herself so that damage is being dealt. Warden now coming in, and after a couple quick hits, all of this entire creep camp will be destroyed, and a manual of health quickly picked up by the Warden. Meanwhile, down over here, Archmage now trying to clear out this creep camp here. Circlet of Nobility has been dropped. Archmage will be slightly shy of level 2, but picking up some very nice items in a Circlet of Nobility and a Tome of Intelligence, not a tomb, a Tome of Intelligence. Rogue will get taken down. That should give level 2 to the Archmage, giving Brilliance Aura. Brilliance Aura increases the mana regeneration by, I believe, 1 point, as the Archmage now still wanders around. Warden now looking to come in for some harassment. Cloak of Shadows on a Warden. Perfect definition of redundant, as we are now going to see the Warden come in. We get a Shadow Strike onto the Archmage. Archmage taking a lot of damage, but the Water Elementals also dishing it out as well. The Warden now being forced to retreat once more as the Water Elementals now try to creep out this 3-2-3-1-1 creep camp. A very low level creep camp. It looks like it will fall in just a second as the Warden now make her rounds back once more. Warden now coming in. The Wisp, we're gonna go in and perhaps try to get a detonation on the hero. Yet on the Water Elemental, the Water Elemental does fall. And the Warden, I believe, did get a little bit of experience just for that, as now we see Yumiko doing a good job with these scout farms. And these scout farms are really annoying, as heroes do not deal that much damage to a scout farm, and archers don't deal that much damage to a scout farm. So it is essentially a 500 very difficult to destroy hit point ward that just sits there in plain sight and laughs at the Night Elf player. Warden with the Boots of Speed looking to come in and harass now. The Warden is using that Cloak of Shadows or the hide ability that all female Night Elves have. I can't quite tell which one which, as we now see the Archmage comes over with a Dust of Appearance. Dust of Appearance will reveal that Warden there. Not quite sure why, as there was also the Goblin Laboratory for a quick reveal there. As now here we go, the Warden is currently now revealed. We have a Shadow Strike there. One Archer does go down. We see a Rock Golem may get taken down as well. There's going to be a surround here. Level 3 Manual of Health and also a Potion of Greater Healing, as Yumiko pretty much able to handle the harassment and also fight back against that Warden. That Warden now down to 125 hit points and now forced to retreat again. Huntresses are being added. It looks as though more Huntresses still being trained, and we'll see what is going to happen next, as we are still at Tier 1 Tree of Life. No second hero coming in anytime soon. Yumiko setting up a scout tower, perhaps gonna upgrade it to a guard tower as soon as the lumber mill is completed. Warden now trying to creep out the goblin merchant shop. Does pick up some nice items for herself, but things are still looking very, very promising for Yumiko, as Yumiko going to be sitting on 2 bases with probably no upkeep, building up a very, very high bank count before he goes into double Arcane Sanctums. Archmage and Mountain King now coming over to intercept. The Warden is at level 2. Water Elemental has been dropped. Shadow Strike now used. Archmage being very careful to back off. 2 level 2 Water Elementals. The nightmare of early game Huntresses, as those Huntresses take a lot of damage from the piercing of those Water Elementals. 31 to 39. I think it's 150% damage, as we see them focusing down units one at a time, but a quick detonation comes in. The Water Elementals were split, as the Water Elemental may fall, giving perhaps level 3 to the Water Elemental there. And there's a Dust of Appearance. Level 3 now on the Warden. Warden may perhaps get a Shadow Strike. Yes, Shadow Strike 150. The Warden does and is going to try to chase down that Archmage. Archmage now down to 200 hit points. Is it going to be enough? No boots of speed. And now Archmage just using that potion of greater healing that just continue to survive as long as he possibly can. The Huntress is unable to catch up. The Footman now in a little bit of a weird situation, as the Water Elemental comes back and turns around. Yumiko with that very early potion of greater healing definitely saved the Water Elemental in that engagement. Perhaps a Scroll of Town Portal would have been used, but we'll see what's going to happen next, as the Archmage now moving forward with this Water Elemental, essentially a giant linebacker clearing the way, making sure that the Archmage has no problem moving forward whatsoever. Wisp now making their way out. A lot of Huntresses are coming down here. We'll see what exactly is going to happen from Rudan. Rudan needs to get more Wisp, but it looks like he's going to try to go for a mass detonation against all of these Water Elementals and then let the Huntresses finish off the rest of the job, perhaps even picking up a Goblin Shredder. Yumiko taking down a Scout Farm here, this is a very bad situation for him to be in, as Rudan does not want to engage here in these tight corridors. Wisp now making their way across. Is the Archmage going to try to do anything? No Clarity Potion now being used. Wisp now coming in. It looks like there's going to be an Ancient Protector tower rush here by Rudan, and we'll see what's going to happen here. No sappers coming in at all. Very nicely decided by Rudan to make sure that Goblin sappers could not be hired. Huntress is now coming in and doing a good job of picking up Huntresses and then dropping them back off to try and absorb some of that damage. Huntress is now taking a little bit more damage than they should. Now backing off again. You can see that the Militia are now making their way over. A new Ancient Protector could be added. This Ancient Protector going to fall very quickly. One Ancient Protector is going to go down. And Rudan in a very bad situation if these towers do not go up. And now 3 more Ancient Protectors once again being reestablished. These towers off over here doing that piercing damage, going to cause problems, as now the Archmage, now with very, very low mana, being forced to use Clarity Potions, Healing Salves, and use that Brilliant Aura to perhaps drop more Water Elementals. In comes the units now. They're going to just fly straight inside this base. In come the Huntresses. This is going to be very bad news, as Yumiko is not going to really be able to handle this. Perhaps a Fan of Knives, yes, dealing a lot of damage across all of these units here. Ancient Protectors are going to fall, but this is all on the inside of Yumiko's base. Yumiko going to lose some guard towers here, and perhaps even lose this last tower. One Water Elemental going to cause problems, taking down one Huntress there. Arcane feedback now on the Warden. The Warden now essentially down to no mana left, now attempting to try to push its way out. There is some nice pickups by Yumiko to try to save the units, and there is a Goblin Shredder also trying to make its way in. Yumiko with a very low hit point Goblin Zeppelin has to be careful here, as you can now see that the Footmen are now making their way in. A nice drop of a Goblin Shredder, and the Goblin Shredder now dealing this. Yumiko looking to fight back and forth. Yumiko currently with just the Archmage pulling back. Down goes a lot of those units. All of the Huntresses are now dizzy, and I believe that is going to be GG, as the Huntresses are just going to get picked apart by the Archmage. One Huntress going to go down very easily, and there is the GG. Very aggressive style by Rudan, but not enough to throw Yumiko off his game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.